Hey everybody, this is LaDondra, your Soul Alignment business coach, your coach in helping you in creating a profitable business that's centered around your purpose. So today normally I do these episodes on my business page, but today, since it's the anniversary edition, then I decided to go ahead and do it on the personal page, and then I'm going to share it with my tribe. So I have a specific topic today that I want to focus on, and it's alignment, power, and positioning. And I have a special guest that's going to be here with me, and it's none other than my husband, Antuan Hervey, who's going to be my guest today. He has no idea what the questions that I have for him or anything. We are on our date. We're on our date here at it's not Magnolia Market. Magnolia Table with Chip and Joanna Gaines. So we've been excited about coming here. I've been excited about coming here to eat breakfast. But we got like an hour wait, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to cover some topics that's of importance that I think that would be a blessing and will help you all. Can somebody let me know if we're having this sideways, if you can see us okay? Put it in the comments and let me know if you're able to see us okay before I get started and stuff, because last time it went kind of crooked. So if somebody can let me know, that would be great. Let's see. Ooh, let me not mess with that. Okay, thank you, Chantel. Thanks for letting me know. And hi, by the way. Okay, so here are the questions that I have for you, Mr. Antuan. First of all, Antuan, can you introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about what you do? Like, not the long version, your 30-second version. Okay.
Sure. So what I do, I have a business that I started called Integrity Auto Inspectors, where I come to you, the buyer, wherever the vehicle is, and I look the car from top to bottom, front to back, make sure it's a good quality car before you purchase it and spend your hard-earned money. We don't want you definitely, wasting all your money that you saved up for. Like, you want something dependable, reliable, something that's going to keep you for years to come. And so that's what I do, is I come to you and make sure that it's going to be great quality, that you're not going to waste your money on something. And so I started my business doing that. I've been doing it now for like the last, I don't know, it's been a few years.
A lot of years. I don't even know, like, because you've been in the industry for like, as long as we done been together. Mm-hmm. So 15, 16 years you doing that, nothing but that. So I have a question, because a lot of the work that I do is centered around alignment. Mm-hmm. And I remember that I was trying to change that name. I had the name Soul Alignment Business Coach, and I was trying to change it to Solutions Business Coach, because it sounded fancier, it was cute. But what did you tell me about that in alignment? And well, just first tell me that, and then I want you to discuss what is the importance of alignment from your experience in the automotive field. What does it look like? What is alignment?
Well, what I told you about that is really just keep it simple. Like, I think a lot of people try to overcomplicate different titles and stuff like that or whatever to try to get people engaged. And so, like, for me, it's just, I like simplicity, but I need people to understand like what it is that I do. And like, actually, my name that of my company, Integrity Auto Inspectors, you actually came up with the name Integrity because I think I was going to call it like Inspect Tech or something like that at first. But then you was like, well, why don't you use something like the word like integrity, because like, everything you do it with integrity. And so I'm like, you know what, I actually like it. And to me, like, it was just it was a no-brainer. It was like a personal fit, and so I ran with it. And so I love it because like it's true to like what I do and who I am.
Right.
And so I wanted you to do the same thing with like with what you started or whatever. So I want you to keep it simple, but let it be true to what you're doing and who you are, like as a person on a day-to-day basis. When the camera's off, there's no pictures going, it's just you. Like, what are you? And so like your business, like that's what you do on a daily basis. And what was the other question?
alignment. Like, so when we had that conversation, you was telling me, like, be true to myself and what I normally do. But then you also explained what it means to have alignment with your vehicle and all of that. So what is really actually the importance of having an alignment with your vehicle?
So the alignment of a vehicle, what that entails is making sure that the wheels are, you're riding on the center of the tread and not on the outer edges, the inner edges, or it's not turned in to the left or to the right, so that you're like actually riding on the center part of the tire at all times to get the maximum amount of wear out of the tire. And so when I told you to make sure that you're aligning your business, like, you want to make sure that you're doing the same thing. Like, you want to make sure that your message on a day-to-day basis, all across your branding, your marketing, everything that you're doing, it's aligning with what you're trying to accomplish and who you're trying to be. Like the image that you're trying to put out there, you want it to line up on a day-to-day basis, so that you're not showing up one person one way, and then like when they see you in person, you're like, okay, that's not who she is. Like, she's normally, like, you know, she normally has some charm, she normally has some character, she's normally funny, she's bubbly or whatever. But then sometime in business, you want to, like, you know, straighten up and be like the professional. Like, this is me, I gotta be like, no, like, be yourself, man, like at all times, like, because that's what people are gonna buy into. They're gonna buy into you as a person, and so if they buy into you as a person, then they're gonna love your company as well.
Okay, I love it. That's part of what you said, but then the other part of it is that you were saying if something is misaligned in the vehicle, then it throws a lot of other things off in the vehicle. And I feel like the same is true when you are pursuing your purpose or you're pursuing your business. If one thing is off, then it has an effect on other things, and it causes wear and tear in your business, and you're never really getting where you're wanting to go. So I appreciate you for that. And what I like about that too is that you always need somebody, you always need to have a sounding board around you, somebody who really knows you deeply, and they're going to call you up and they're going to call you out. They're going to let you know when you're off, when you're playing to your strengths, or whatever the case is. And so you've been one of those kind of people for me in just life, business, just all the way around. I feel like we serve each other in that very well. One of the questions that I want to ask you next is, what is the importance of allowing, because we've been married, today is our anniversary, we've been married for 15 years and together for 19, because we wasn't getting married in high school. We were so far from ready. But anyway, what is the importance of allowing the other person to be who they are?
It's very important. And one thing I can say with us being together so long, especially like since high school, you have to be willing to let the other person grow and learn and experience things as you're growing together. And what I mean by that is, like, you know, when you're in high school, nobody's gonna come out of high school and be ready for marriage or anything like that. Even a lot of times, like, you know, people that go to college, even like right out of college, you're still not ready, because, like, you know, you got your college life that you was just living, so now you're trying to get, you know, bring all of that into a relationship with someone, so that y'all can kind of like sync and have all this stuff that y'all are trying to accomplish or whatever. So there's going to be a lot of growing that takes place. And so you have to be able to let that person experience life on their terms and their way. Some things you're gonna agree with, some things you're not gonna agree with. So, like, for instance, like for us, like, there's been many a decisions that, you know, like, you wasn't on board with, and I'm like, you know, man, hey, I gotta do it because it's just what I gotta do. I'm feeling it, like, you know what I'm saying, like, I'm I guess being drawn to this decision, and then, like, so I have to run with it. And then, like, you've done the same thing several times or whatever. Like, you know, I'll be like, you know, hey, I don't think this is right, and you be like, babe, I gotta do it. And so, like, you know what, that's what you're gonna do, then we're just gonna agree to disagree or whatever. And so, like, you go ahead and do it, but everything is worked out. So you have to be willing to let that person grow and be who they are and do what they're gonna do, whether it's a good outcome or bad outcome or whatever. At the end of the day, y'all got each other, so good or bad, y'all gonna be like, you know what, this didn't work, you know what I'm saying, I trusted you last time, you did it, it didn't work out, you know what I'm saying, but I'm still here for you, I got your back, so next time, maybe you might want to take my advice on some stuff or whatever, and so on and so forth. But then, like, if it do work out, then you got that thing to be like, you know, hey, thank you for trusting me, you see it worked out, you know what I'm saying, in our benefit, so this is what I was trying to accomplish. And the other person be like, okay, well, I get it now. At first I wasn't seeing it, but now I see you made it work out, so thank you for that. And so, like, you know what I'm saying, so
right. So one of the things that I like is that even when we don't understand, because like you said, there's been so many times that we just don't understand one another and the vision that that we're feeling, that whether it's what God put in our heart or it's just a desire that we have to do something or to invest in something or whatever the case is. And at the beginning there was a lot of disruption in our marriage about that, because we just wasn't understanding one another's needs and desires, and we wasn't respecting it either. Number one was because, first of all, we grew up together, so you don't really truly understand one another at that level, and you go from being a kid to an adult, and so you have to give each other enough grace to make mistakes, and give each other enough grace to learn themselves and to make some mistakes and just all that kind of stuff. So I really appreciate that. What is what's the importance of supporting one another even when you don't understand? So we don't like each other right now, we ain't agreeing about it, I'm gonna make an investment, and why is it important for you to support me in that, and vice versa?
Well, I believe it's important for you to support because like I was just saying, like everything that you do, you're not gonna agree. So for me, what I've learned to do, and this is like me personally, what I've learned to do when it's something that we don't agree on and I feel strong about it and she feels strong about it, I say, God, this is in your control. I can't control the outcome. I don't know what she's got going on, but I trust you. And if this is what you're putting in her, then I'm going to trust your decision, because you know way better than I do. You know where our finances are. You know where this, that, and the other, needs to come from, where we're at, where we're trying to go, whatever. But I trust you more than I trust any of this stuff. So if this is what you're putting in her, I don't understand it. It's not for me to understand. It's something you put in her. So let your will be done. And by that, once I do that, I release it, because it's out of my control. I can sit here and talk to them blue in the face, but it's not going to change your decision. You're going to do what you're going to do. So I'm not going to be, somewhere frustrated, like, no, this ain't what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be doing it like this. And then you're going to go out and do it anyway. And it's like, okay, what just happened? So I'm frustrated. You did what you did. And it's like, life goes on. So why be frustrated? Release that to God. Let him handle that. Whatever the outcome will be, it's his will. So you have no say so. It's his will. Let his will be done. So that's what I do on a daily basis.
Do you ever talk to anybody? And if so, how do you handle that? Like, how do you strike a balance between giving, telling too much of your business and putting too many of the wrong people in your business when you're going through something, and then, just keeping it to yourself and praying and releasing it to the Lord? Like, where do you strike a balance there?
I have a couple of people that I reach out to, that I connect with. Like I say, not too many, because you don't want to put your business out there, because you don't want people to think that, oh, they're struggling, or they going through this or whatever. No, we're not. It's not that. It's just we're in a relationship. We're human, so we're gonna disagree. So when you disagree, like, you just need an outlet to kind of voice your opinion, get a different perspective or whatever. And sometimes, like, they might point you and be like, hey man, on this one, like, I kind of side with her, like, like, you might understand it, but what she's saying, like, she going right, and be like, all right, well, cool. Well, I don't see it, but if you say so, I'm with it, whatever. Like I said, I listen to God, so I was kind of like, let that be that. But I do have a couple of people that I take things to. And shout out to my fellas, if you're watching, what's going down?
Oh Lord.
Okay, all right, I'm back.
Ain't that just like people, like, they get a little bit of spotlight, and then they got to shout out to their mama, their grandpa, their boys, everybody else, you
gotta say what's up.
You on the show
to
do what you need to do.
Okay, we're back. All right.
Happy anniversary.
All right.
Happy anniversary, hon. You a hot mess. Okay, so one of the things that I've been talking about this week, and I actually covered it yesterday, was on money and how money can become your master. And you've helped me a lot when it comes to money, because money is something, it's an emotional subject. It's a subject that it's an emotional subject. And if you don't have some anchors in your life that's leading you and guiding you and giving you some support, then you can easily find yourself in a struggle and all that type of stuff. And so your advice, it always come in like this old man kind of things. So I'm going to tell y'all some of the advice that I've received over the years, and I'm going to allow him the opportunity to debrief on what this advice has looked like. Now, are we always best friends on money? Oh no, God no. But I have received some really great insight from him on the business side of when it deals with money. So here's what it is. So here's the first one in its old man terms. This is how I get it, guys, like for real, for real. All right. So the number one is you don't put all your eggs in one basket. Go ahead and explain why you say that. This is from the business perspective, because that's mostly where you give me a lot of insight.
Well, I got that that term from Dave Ramsey, and that's one of the things that he used or whatever. Like, whenever you're investing in stuff, don't ever put all your money, energy, and focus on one thing, because it's like if that one thing fails, then like you've, I guess, exhausted all of your resources into this one thing. So if it fails, you have nothing to fall back on. So like you can invest in stuff heavily, but don't put like everything into one thing. And so like that's what I try to teach you to do too, because like I have different stuff that I invest in, but I'm not just invested in one thing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's where that comes from.
So how do you strike a balance with that though? Because like you have a lot of people who's like, I'm creative and I do all this stuff, and so you can also be all over the board with things too, because you invested in so many things. And I'm gonna let you answer, but like one of the things that, to kind of clarify what I'm looking for, is like with Tyler Perry, he said that he focused only on his plays, and then once he, from that one thing, then everything came. So like where do you find a good balance for you? And
so for me, like I'll invest in certain things. Like for instance, like one of the things that I like doing or whatever, like I like, you know, finding cars, like, you know, fixing them up and then like resell them for a profit. So that's like one of the things that I do. But then like that's only one thing that I do. Like also I go around, when I have time, I go around and like repair different cars. So I have like different streams of income coming in, but then like I only have a select thing that I like to.
They're all related to one thing,
right? The
automotive industry.
Right.
You're not jumping from here.
Right.
To
I don't
there,
do I don't do home repairs. I don't do like, you know what I'm saying, like this, that, and the other. I'll focus on what I do. Like, you know what I'm saying, like this is what I do.
Great.
Right. This is what I do. So like if it's anything from repairing to inspecting to whatever, but it's all automotive related. So like I kind of stay in my arena. I stay in my lane. I don't do anything that's out of my expertise or out of my comfort realm. So if you're doing stuff that's all like, it's all I guess like leading you in the right direction, right? So like you're building like a certain platform, then it's okay like to invest in different areas, and it's aligning with your purpose. Right. So as long as it's in alignment with what you're doing, then you're good. Right. But it's like, don't be like you're real passionate about doing hair, but then you're going like to nursing school. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're on two different ends of the spectrum. Like, what do you want to do? Like, what are you trying to be? Like, you can't be a nurse doing hair. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to be in the nursing doing hair. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like you're going to have to really focus on one thing or the other. And so like that's what I try to, you know, provide balance in. It's everything that you do, make sure it's in alignment. In alignment. Yeah.
Okay. So the next advice that I got, in the old man terms relating to money, is don't count your chickens until they've hatched.
Okay. So that might be a little old termish, I guess, but
I know, I guess that's whatever. Like really old.
That ain't that old. But what that means is, there's been several times where people reach out and they be like, hey, I want you to come fix my car or whatever, and then you're like, okay, cool, and then you say, I'm gonna charge you X amount of dollars. Okay, cool. So in your mind now, you're like, okay, I got $120 coming over here, and I know I got this $120 light bill that I need to pay. Bet. Perfect, on time. Okay? So then you go ahead and you set up automatic payment for Friday, because you know you're going to get the money on Thursday. Yeah. To do the automated payment thing or whatever. So, all right, I got the water bill covered, whatever. You get a call Thursday night or Thursday morning, hey man, we got to reschedule. I can't do it till Monday. You're like, are you kidding me? I already already got that money planned. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I already got that money planned. Like, you reached out to me. I'm trying to get the money because I need to put it somewhere. Now I can't do what I need to do and what I planned on doing because now, like, you reneged on what you said you was gonna, you know, like, let me do so I can come earn the money. I didn't call and ask to borrow no money. I'm trying to earn it so I can put it where I need to put it. Right. But don't ever plan it until you have cash in hand.
Right.
So that means, like, if somebody said they're gonna do something, cool. Go make the money. Once you got that money in hand, now that's when you call and say, hey, I'd like to go ahead and make this payment because now I have the cash in hand. Now it's all you got to do is go make the drive to the bank, make the deposit, pay the bill. It's done.
Right.
That's great. So that's why I say don't ever count on anything until you have cash in hand.
Okay. I love it. The next one is, let me see, what do we have? There's more than one way to skin a cat. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, he is old. Like, I be getting like all kinds of stuff. I'll go in there and I'm like frustrated or I'm discouraged about something and he's like, Mama, there's more than one way to skin a cat. And so I'm like, well, I guess he kind of right. So explain what you mean by that.
So for me, what that term means is like the end game is the same. You're all trying to accomplish something, right? So for instance, if you're trying to make breakfast for someone, right? Like if you want to do eggs, you want to do bacon, and you want to do pancakes. Some people might have the eggs going while the bacon's cooking and they're cooking the pancakes. Other people might do the pancakes first, then they're gonna do the eggs, and then they're gonna do the bacon. So the end game is to have breakfast with all of these items that you have prepared at the table, but there's different ways to go about it. And so you have to be okay and comfortable with letting people do things their way, even though it's not your way sometimes. It's all in the, I guess the end game is the same. Like, y'all are trying to accomplish the same thing and is the end result. So let them go about it their way. It may not make sense to you and your mom because mine, they think differently. So your thought process is way different than mine. Mine is way different than yours or whatever. But there's no right or wrong way. It's just different ways to get into the same goal. So that's why. But
then also to that is like, you know, if you're trying to have the bacon, eggs, and whatever else you said, then what if you can't cook it? What if the stove went out? And, you know, there's other ways of getting that same thing. Like, you can go order out or order in. That's how you say it?
Order. It don't really matter.
Jesus.
Just order
it. Order and bring it to the house. And it put it on the table. I mean, same outcome. You all gonna sit, eat, and enjoy that meal. So don't get so caught up on the process of how it's supposed to happen. Just know that the goal is going to happen regardless. However you get there, if you have to make a turn, a detour, whatever the case is, just know that the goal will happen if you stay committed to the process. So, and that's been really helpful for me because, like, I'll have it in my mind that it's this one way. And if it don't go this one way, then I get really discouraged and I'm upset and then it's a bad day, like all this stuff. And so I've had to really learn how to be flexible and to shift my thinking and to look for other creative solutions so that I'm not so attached to this one way and realize that I'm still going to accomplish that one goal regardless. So even though it's old man stuff, it's working. The next one is re-up. So now this one is not necessarily, it's kind of old manish and slangish all at the same. It's an old man slang, like old man slang.
No, it's for me being in these streets, man. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? I be out on the block.
He is so lying. He don't even know what the block look like.
I'm on the block.
Okay.
Night and day, grinding.
Back to me and what we talking about here. So he'll say stuff like re-up, and what re-up means is it's reinvest what you made. Why is it so important to re-up?
So the reason why you re-up is just like with anything in business. You saved up, you went and purchased something. Once you sell your good, then you have to use that same money that you just earned back to go repurchase the stuff. Now this time, if you made a profit, now you can order even more of the product, or you have that money to invest somewhere else in the company.
So it don't mean that you made a profit and you get to go shopping?
No, you're not there yet. Give yourself about a few years before you do that.
is there ever a point to where you can re-up, but then you can play a little bit so that you don't feel like all you're doing is working? Like, how do you strike that balance?
You can. It's only person that knows that number and that figure is you. So for instance, like, what does it take to re-up? So let's say if you start with $500, you sell all your product, now you made $700 or $800. We'll go with $800. So now you're $300 over what you got invested in it. So are you gonna pull that $300 out, or are you gonna go now in return, instead of doing the $500 re-up, are you gonna go spend $800? Because the more you put in it, then the more you're gonna get out. So if you did 5 and you got 3, now what if you did 8? That 8 is gonna turn into what? 16?
I don't know, but here's what I do know. Re-upping was a hard lesson. And like, because I'm like, oh, I made some money, like I can go do XYZ, and he's like, nope, you supposed to be re-upping. And I'm like, well, I'm a re-up later. But the point is that once you learn and you see the benefits that that comes with it, keeping that discipline, because it's a discipline, having that discipline to reinvest that money back in, then you'll start to see a longer term benefit and a longer term reward that'll make you want to do and take the steps that's necessary to keep growing in that direction. So my last question for you, mister, is what does it mean to stand in your power?
For me, what I get from that is do what comes to you naturally, because like whatever it is that you naturally gravitate to or that you naturally do, like that's your power, because it's nothing that you're even necessarily trying to do. You just being you, like this is what you're naturally drawn to. So for me, like automotive, like I'm just naturally drawn to it. For me, a good time would be just being around anything automotive related, motorcycles, anything that's like, you know, like motor powered or something like that. It's just something like I'm naturally drawn to. Like I could spend all of my time, all of my days being around it or doing something involved with it, and like I would never get bored in that. So for you, like your thing is like, you know, like you love learning and you love passing the information on to others, because you want them to, you know, like to live their best lives and to grow and be fulfilled and accomplish all these different things. Where like, so for you, like it's almost a no-brainer. Like this is what you do on a daily basis or whatever. Like you always
we should do it on our anniversary and, you know, spend time all day doing that.
No. You're gonna lose some cars or something. But anyway, so like just do to you what comes naturally. So whatever that is for you, like only you know that.
Right.
And like, you know, like one of the things that we teach our kids or whatever is like for them, like we're trying to show them that even though that you're young, my daughter's 14, my son's 12, she fixing to be 15. Even them, like I always channel them to do what you've been doing, like, you know what I'm saying, like since you was a baby. Like what have you been doing since you were a baby? Like that's just natural or whatever. Right. And just build upon that, because like the more you build upon it, the older you get, the easier it's gonna come and the more success you're gonna have in it, because it's just something you're doing naturally.
Yeah.
So it's nothing that you really have to work at. And so I challenge anyone that's looking, you do the same thing. So just stop and think like, man, what is it that I do? What is something that I just really enjoy? And then from that, just kind of build upon it. And before you know it, you'll be 10 years in, you've gotten, like, you know, levels of success. But stick with it. That's the one thing that most people don't do. They don't stick with what it is that they love doing and that they're passionate about. They don't stick with it.
Yeah. They'll
see that there's no money coming back, or I can't make any money at this.
Yes.
Stick with it. You have to stick with it. I guarantee you. When I first graduated from automotive school, I went out there and tried to get a job in the field where I just graduated from, and nobody would hire me. Somebody, you don't have no experience. How do you get experience if don't nobody hire you? Right. How does this work, people?
Right.
Give me a chance so I can get some experience, so then I can get more income.
Right.
But if nobody give you a chance, but if I would have just been like, you know what, I'm just gonna go, you know what I'm saying, drive a forklift. No, not knocking anybody that's doing that. I'm just saying, like, for me, that's not what I can do, because it's not what's in me. So for me, I could have been like, man, I'm just gonna go drive forklift because I gotta put some food on my table for the family. But I can't do that because it's not true to me. There are several times I thought about getting out of the automotive industry to do something else.
Yeah.
What would that something else be? I have no idea. But I was gonna find something. But my passion won't let me leave it. It's what I do. So You have to stick to what it is that you do. When you stick to it, the money will come, guaranteed. Cause I haven't even tapped that. I'm gonna beat this woman to making the first $1 million. She know it.
I don't even gotta worry about that.
She hating. She know it.
I don't even have to worry
Coming
about
soon.
it.
I don't know how soon, but it's coming soon.
After me? That's how soon.
Nope.
After me.
Nope.
But anyway, back to what you were saying.
Okay, go.
What I do like though, and I appreciate that answer, is standing of being in your powers, do what comes to you naturally. And I want to salute you on that, because I feel like you're doing a great job of standing in your power, doing what you do naturally. And you know, at first, like you said, the money wasn't there like how, you know, we thought in our heads, right? But then as you continued the journey, like in a day, you be like just making stuff, and I'm just like, what is you doing? And so it can be frustrating. Stop lying.
Okay.
This type of stuff. So it can be frustrating, you know, but you are in your zone of genius. And also when you're in your zone of genius, other people get to benefit from it beyond what you're doing, just working on their car, because that's just one avenue. But I know so many times where from you just having that encounter with that person, of you working on their car, they shared their story with you, and you was able to encourage them in their faith. You was able to encourage them in life. You were able to encourage them to pursue their dreams. Like, and so many times people, they make what they do little, like it's gonna be little impact, but when in fact it has so much impact, so we are okay. Gotcha. Ooh, did we miss our reservation?
Oh, no.
You were supposed to put it on.
It's don't do not disturb, hon. That's what you told me to put it on.
Y'all don't get married, cause see, we supposed to be waiting for the thing to do this, and then to go off for our reservation, and it didn't go off. Okay, back to us. So
I'm finna go to the thing.
I know. Hold on, we finna end it.
Oh,
So anyway, whatever it is that you're doing, stay committed to it. And whether you're married, you're single, whatever the case is, if you're married, go at it together. And if you're single, find an accountability and walk in your purpose and your power and create alignment. And we're thankful that you guys took time to watch. And thank you for all your anniversary wishes. And we will talk to y'all later, because we got to go eat.